Good evening to everyone. My voice is audible and the presentation is visible to you. Once confirmed, so that we can start the session, we can start the last day of our 5 days live course on GST law. So first, I just want confirmation from your side that sir, the presentation is okay and my voice is visible. My voice is audible and the presentation is visible. So my voice is okay, my voice is audible and presentation is visible. Okay, so today's session link is public session link. You can share it with anyone. Okay, so it is my request to you. You can put this session link on your WhatsApp status so that maximum people can join on through this link and join the this knowledge sharing session. Okay, so you can share this joining link with anyone on your WhatsApp status, in your WhatsApp groups, whatever you want to share, you can share. Okay, sir. So with that, I'm going to start the session. And uh, जस्ट वी आर गोइंग फॉर अ क्विक रिकैप कि हम लोगों ने लास्ट 4 डेज के अंदर क्या क्या हम लोगों ने लर्न किया, कौन चीजें हम लोगों ने कवर की. सो आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू रिकैप ऑल दोज थिंग्स एंड देन आफ्टर वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट अवर discussion on the place of supply. So when we had started the session, the very first day we had started with the constitutional background of GST. मैं डेली जब भी whenever we are going to start the session, I am going to recap the previous sessions. Okay. उसके पीछे एक छोटा सा लॉजिक है कि सारी की सारी चीजें रिकॉल हो जाए, मेमोराइज हो जाए. जब आप 5 दिन तक उसी चीज को रिपीट वे में सुनोगे, सो यू कैन मेमोराइज ऑल दोज कॉन्सेप्ट्स, मेमोराइज ऑल दोज थिंग्स. ओके. सारी की सारी चीजें रिमाइंड हो जाएगी और आप रिवाइज करने की भी रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं पड़ेगी. सो वी आर गोइंग टू फॉलो दिस प्रिंसिपल, दिस प्रोसेस. ओके. सो on a very first day we had started our discussion with the constitutional background of GST article 246A. आज मैं केवल क्लू दूंगा, कुछ वर्ड्स आपके सामने बोलूंगा, कुछ कीवर्ड्स आपके सामने बोलूंगा, और जैसे ही मैं कीवर्ड्स बोलता हूं तो दिस इज माय एक्सपेक्टेशन कि आपके सारे के सारे कॉन्सेप्ट उस कीवर्ड से रिलेटेड क्लियर है. एंड इफ यू फाउंड दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग इज यूजेबल फॉर यू, in that case, if you found these type of things are usable to you, in that case you can comment in the chat box also that this is usable for us. Okay. So first we had started our discussion with article 246A constitutional background. Uske andar we had discussed that article 246A inserted, and article 246A is going to provide the concurrent power to state government and the central government to prepare the laws regarding the GST. ओके. जीएसटी काउंसिल इज देयर. जीएसटी काउंसिल में 75% की मेजोरिटी चाहिए टू टेक एनी डिसीजन. व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ जीएसटी काउंसिल? जीएसटी काउंसिल इज गोइंग टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट द रेवेन्यू. ओके. एंड जीएसटी काउंसिल इज गोइंग टू implement the GST on 5 petroleum product, motor spirit, tribunal fuel, okay, all those type of 5 petroleum product on which GST will be applicable, GST will be leviable on a future date with recommendation of GST Council. Okay. After that, we had started our discussion on section number 7 of CGST Act, that is supply. Supply includes sale, exchange, barter, transfer, rental, lease in the course of furtherance of business for a consideration. In case if I am going to take the import of services, and if there is the import of services not in the course of furtherance of business, in that case also the same should be treated as transaction. That transaction should be treated as your supply and GST should be leviable. Then after we had started our discussion on schedule number 1 of CGST Act, all those activities which is mentioned in that particular schedule 1, whether there is a consideration or not for consideration, the same should be treated as your supply, and consideration should be determined as per the valuation rules. Okay. First thing, if someone is going to transfer the business, distinct person, related person, principal, agent, all those things are covered under this schedule 1. Schedule 2 talks about the activities or transactions which has to be treated as a supply of goods or supply of services. Whenever there is a transfer of title in goods, in that case हम लोग कहेंगे कि this is a supply of goods, and whenever there is a transfer of right to use, in that case हम लोग कहेंगे कि this is a supply of services. Okay. After that, schedule 3 talks about your neither supply of goods nor supply of services. Okay. उसके अंदर हम लोगों ने funeral auxiliary services, if any person going to provide any services who is holding the post under the Constitution of India, in that case the same will be treated as neither supply of goods nor supply of services and employer employee relationship. These three schedule are okay. Then after we had started our discussion on composite and mixed supply, section 8 of CGST. Composite supply, one is principal, another is ancillary. GST should be charged as per the rate of the principal supply, and another mixed supply. टू हम लोग क्या करेंगे, उनको वो सप्लाई नेचुरली बंडल्ड नहीं है, इन दैट केस वी कैन से दैट दिस टाइप ऑफ सप्लाई इज योर मिक्स्ड सप्लाई. ओके. देन आफ्टर section 12, time of supply. Time of supply in case of supply of goods. Time of supply in case of goods. How we can decide? In case of goods, the time of supply will be your, in case of forward charge, the time of supply will be your date of invoice. In case of reverse charge, receipt of goods, or date of entry in the books of accounts, or debit from the bank account, or 30 days from the issue of invoice, whichever is earlier will be treated as your time of supply. In case of reverse charge mechanism, in case of vouchers, if vouchers are identifiable, in that case date of issue of that voucher will be treated as your time of supply. In that case vouchers are not identifiable, in that case redemption date will be treated as your time of supply. Then after, if there is any addition on account of late fees, penalty, interest, in that case, the date of addition of that late fees, penalty and interest will be treated as your time of supply. In case of supply of services, as per section 13 of CGST Act, invoice or payment, whichever is earlier, will be treated as your time of supply. In case of forward charge, in case of reverse charge, date of payment or entry in the bank account, that is debited from the bank account, or 60 days from the issue of invoices, will be treated as your time of supply, whichever is earlier. Voucher, same principle. Addition, same principle. After that, section 14, that is in case change in rate of tax, uske andar we had discussed around 6 situations. Okay. After that, we had started our discussion on section number 15, that is valuation. If the buyer and supplier is not the related party and price is the sole consideration, in that case, the transaction value will be treated as your value of supply, and you need to add your all type of loading, unloading expenditure, all type of incidental expenditure in that, and all type of duties, taxes, except the duties which is levied under the GST. We need to add these things. Okay. Now, after that, we had started our discussion on various rule. Rule number 27. Rule number 27 will be applicable in case of money plus monetary consideration. आपको याद आया होगा open market value, in case of same kind and quality की value, money plus monetary consideration. That is what is rule number 27. Rule number 28 will be applicable in case of distinct and related person. Rule number 29 will be applicable in case of principal and agent. Rule number 30 will be the master key. If you are not going to decide the value of supply from rule number 27, 28, 29, in that case, you can take the reference of rule number 30. That means saying that cost plus 10% will be your value of supply. Rule number 31, 31A related to your lottery face value. Okay. Face value multiplied by 100 divided by 128, or the price which is prescribed by the official gazette in the state government. In that case, whichever is higher will be the value of supply in that case. After that, we had discussed about the foreign currency exchange. Two method, you got that idea. One is your composition. In that case, we are going to take a certain percentage, or another जो regular method है उसके अंदर we are going to check that RBI reference rate is available or not, and whatever will be the matter. Three situations we had discussed. Okay. After that, we had covered the situation of insurance agent in case of travel agent, air travel agent, and second hand goods ki buying and selling. And after that, we had started the concept of pure agent in GST. Then after, we had started our discussion on section number 16 of CGST Act, that is related to input tax credit. If you want to claim the input tax credit, if you are going to use anything in the course or furtherance of your business, in that case, that will be, you are eligible to claim the input tax credit. There are 5 mandatory conditions to claim input tax credit. First is receive the goods. Second, you have the invoice, tax invoice or debit note. The same is reflected in the GSTR to be returned. Supplier has paid the taxes and GSTR 3B has been filed. Buyer has to make the payment within 180 days. If buyer is not going to make the payment within 180 days, in that case, buyer has to reverse the input tax credit. Okay. After that, we had started our discussion on the depreciation and input tax credit on fixed assets. After that, the maximum timeline to amend the GST returns. The maximum timeline will be 30th November of next financial year, or annual return filing date, whichever is earlier will be your timeline to amend in your GST returns. After that, we had started our discussion on blocked credit, section 17 subsection 5, motor vehicles, vessels, aircraft. If they are going to use for further supply or for trading purposes or for passenger transportation, in that case input is allowed it. Any other cases में input यहाँ पर नहीं मिलेगी, और उससे related repair, maintenance, insurance की भी input tax rate नहीं मिलेगी. Food beverages से रिलेटेड जो इनपुट टैक्स रेट है, दैट इज आल्सो ब्लॉक्ड क्रेडिट. वर्क्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आपको याद आया होगा. इन केस ऑफ इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, इनपुट टैक्स रेट इज नॉट अलाउडेड. मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, इनपुट टैक्स रेट इज अलाउडेड. प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, इनपुट टैक्स रेट इज अलाउडेड. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू यूज एनीथिंग फॉर योर पर्सनल कंजम्पशन, इन दैट केस ITC is not allowed. If you are a composition taxable person, ITC is not allowed. All these things are covered under section 17 subsection 5. Then after, we had started our discussion on section number 18 subsection 1, that is apportionment of credit and special circumstances. 4 कंडीशन हम लोगों ने पढ़ी थी. फर्स्ट, आई एम गोइंग टू लाइबल फॉर द टेक द GST रजिस्ट्रेशन. इन दैट केस, इफ आई एम गोइंग टू टेक द रजिस्ट्रेशन, द डेट ऑफ लाइबिलिटी से अगर मैं 30 डेज के अंदर रजिस्ट्रेशन ले लेता हूं, इन दैट केस आई एम एलिजिबल टू क्लेम द टैक्स क्रेडिट फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ लाइबिलिटी. Second situation, voluntary registration. In that case, I am eligible to claim the input tax credit for the goods which is in my hand at the date of grant of your registration. Then after, थर्ड सिचुएशन हम लोगों ने पढ़ी, कॉम्पोजिशन पर्सन अगर रेगुलर में जाता है एंड exempted सप्लाई टैक्सेबल हो जाती है, then after ITC 01 we need to file. In case of sale, merger, amalgamation, demerger, in that case ITC 02 has to file and counterparty has to accept the same and accounting has to be done in that way. After that we had discussed on section number 18 subsection 4. In that case any regular person is going for the composition and any taxable goods is going for the exempted. In that case what will be the scenario? In case of death of sole proprietor we had already discussed. Third, death of sole proprietor, ITC 02 has to file, new form has to be created by the legal heir and transfer the input tax credit. If I have a branch in Rajasthan and I want to open one more branch in Rajasthan, Jaipur, and within 30 days, if I want to transfer input tax credit from my old branch to new branch, in that case, I can do the same by filing GST ITC 02A form. Okay. After that, we had started our discussion on section number 17. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is, if I am going to make any goods for the use of in the course or furtherance of my business or for non-business purposes, in case of taxable as well as for exempted, in that case I need to calculate the reversal amount, and reversal should be calculated from the reference of rule number 42 and 43. And after the discussion on rule number 42 and 43, we had started our discussion on place of supply. In case of interstate supply, that means within two states, that is called as interstate supply. Within a state, that is called as your intrastate supply. And in that case, intrastate supply, if there is supply to any SEZ unit, in that case that supply will be treated as your intrastate supply. All these things we had discussed in our last 4 day session. सर रिवीजन आपको कैसा लगा? आई हार्टली वांट दैट आप उसका कमेंट ईच एंड एवरीवन मेरे को चैट बॉक्स में जरूर दें, सो दैट इट इज एन अ गुड फीडबैक फॉर मी. ओके, सो आपको रिवीजन कैसा लगा हो, कि उससे रिलेटेड जो भी फीडबैक हो, आप लोगों को सारी की सारी चीजें मेमोराइज हुई, सारी की सारी चीजें रिवाइज हुई, इन दैट केस यू नीड टू पुट द सेम इन द चैट बॉक्स नाउ. I am waiting for your reply in the chat box also. Although I am going to start the discussion on section number 12. We had already discussed section number 12, subsection 1 and subsection 2 in our last session related to supply of services. Now, section number 12. The place of supply of services in case of immovable property. Suppose there is an immovable property, and if someone is going to take that immovable property for marriage for rent purposes, in that case, for the owner of that immobile property, what will be the place of supply? In that case, directly relation to immobile property included services provided by architect, interior decorators, surveyors, engineers, other related experts and agents, and any service provided by way of grant to right use immobile property for carrying out coordination of construction. In that case, the place of immobile property. If I want to construct an immobile property, and for construction of that immobile property, if I require any consultation of any architecture, any decorator, interior decorator, any surveyor, and if that person is going to provide the services, in that case we can say that the location of that immobile property should be treated as your place of supply. Okay, now by way of lodging, that is hotel, inn, guest house, home stay, whatever name called, in that case jahan par wo immobile property situated hai, that will be treated as place of supply. Suppose I am registered under Rajasthan and I am going to Gujarat in a hotel. Okay, and I am a registered person and I am going to provide my registered address to that supplier of that immobile property. In that case I am going to take the services of that immobile property which is situated at Gujarat. In that case, IGST should be charged. Okay, because for that immobile property, I am from Rajasthan and that immobile property is in Gujarat. And second situation लेते हैं, at the time of construction, if I am going to provide any services to that immobile property from my Rajasthan location, in that case, I need to charge IGST because that immobile property is situated in Gujarat. So the location of that immobile property will be treated as your place of supply. Now, by way of accommodation in any immobile property for organizing any marriage or any other function, in that case the location of immobile property will be treated as your place of supply. Suppose if that immobile property is situated in 2 or 3 states, in that case, the place of supply will be distributed with the ratio of the services. Okay, so the place of supply will be distributed. If more than one state, then in proportion of the value of services supplied, in that case place of supply हमको वैसे decide करना है. That means conclusive I can say, in case of immobile property, the location of immobile property will be treated as your place of supply, and accordingly we need to decide CGST, SGST or IGST. Okay, this concept of immobile property, I suppose that okay in your mind. Now एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड, रेंटिंग हो गया, रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स, आर्किटेक्चर, सर्विंग ऑफ लैंड, होटल अकोमोडेशन, कंस्ट्रक्शन रिलेटेड. But services not directly related to the land, repair and maintenance of machinery. If someone is going for the repair and maintenance of machinery, in that case we cannot say that this is an immobile property. Or information related to land prices, if someone is going to provide the information related to land prices, in that case we cannot say that this service is directly related to that land. So I suppose that this concept is okay for you regarding immobile property. Now, third, section 12, subsection 4. The place of supply of restaurant and catering services, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services, including cosmetic and plastic surgery, shall be the location where the services actually performed. In case of restaurant, catering services, suppose in my house there is a marriage and I am going to take the services of a caterer from Gujarat and I am in Rajasthan. In that case, that caterer is going to provide that services in Rajasthan. In that case, the place of supply will be Rajasthan, and accordingly CGST, SGST or IGST will be charged. So that is how we are going to decide that what will be the place of supply. I am going to take the example with each and every section so that it will be more convenient for you. Immobile property is okay. इन केस ऑफ रेस्टोरेंट, कैटरिंग, पर्सनल नेचर की जो भी सर्विसेज है, जो जहां पर हम लोग एक्चुअली जाकर के परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे अपनी सर्विसेज की, दैट प्लेस विल बी ट्रीटेड एज योर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. नाउ the place of supply of services in relation to training and performance appraisal, in that case a registered person shall be the location of such person, and if the person is not registered person, in that case where the services actually performed. Suppose there is an institution in Bangalore and Bangalore wants certain training sessions. Okay, so Bangalore ने मुझे बोला कि सचिन जी, you need to come to our corporate office and you need to provide the training services. Bangalore Corporation is also registered under GST. In that case, if I am going to that place, that is Bangalore, and I am going to provide the services, and I am also a registered person, in that case, the place of registered person, that is Bangalore Corporation, will be treated as place of supply, and I have Rajasthan GSTN and I am going to provide the services in Bangalore. In that case, IGST should be charged. Okay. Second, suppose I am going to provide the training services to an unregistered entity. In that case, the location where I am going to actually perform the services. Suppose if I am going to provide the services from Jodhpur itself, online mode. In that case, we can say that place of supply will be Jodhpur itself, because the counterparty is unregistered. And if the counterparty is registered, in that case, the place of that counterparty will be treated as your place of supply. Okay. In any section, if you want any type of example, if you want any type of clarification, you just need to comment in the chat box. I may change the example, I may take next or another example for your concept. There is no issue with that. Now, section 12, subsection 6. The place of supply of services provided by way of admission to a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment, and amusement park and any other place or services ancillary thereto shall be the place where the event is actually held and where the park or such place is located. That means if someone is going to provide any type of sporting services or any type of scientific educational services, in that case where the service is actually provided. If someone is going to Dubai and provide the educational services, in that case we can say that this is an export of services. If someone is going to Mumbai and provide the education services, we can say that this is an interstate supply. Okay, so accordingly we need to decide the place of supply. Okay, or if the service is related to amusement park and any other type of bike, if I am going for any amusement park and if the amusement park is situated in Gujarat, in that case we can say that the place of supply is Gujarat. Okay, so we just need to take in our mind that if the services or the activities is related to immobile property, location of that immobile property. Each and every situation, whatever will be the situation, you just need to remember three to four concepts in your mind. Immobile property, then place of that immobile property. If the service is related to personal nature, that person has to provide the services from his own. In that case, where the services actually performed, that will be treated as the place of supply. And if the counterpart is registered, in that case, that party's place of business will be treated as your place of supply. Now, section 12, subsection 7. The place of supply of services provided by way of organization of a cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment event, including supply of services in relation to conference, fair, exhibition, and all that. In that case, the place of supply will be if someone is going to provide to that registered person. In that case, place of that registered person. Okay, हर सिचुएशन आपको याद रखने की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. There is no requirement to memorize each and every situation. You just need to know the concept. Okay, to a person other than a registered person shall be the place where the event is actually held. And if the event is held outside India, the place of supply shall be the location of the recipient. जहां पर वो recipient उसको सब receive कर रहा है. Suppose Mr. X is want an Mr. X wants to organize a cultural event, and that event has to be organized in Dubai. Okay, and Mr. X is registered under Mr. X is in Rajasthan. Okay, and I am also in Rajasthan, and I am the organizer of that cultural event, and I am going to provide my services. In that case, if the counterparty, that is Mr. X, is registered, that place will be treated as place of supply. Suppose we need to perform the services outside India. In that case, the place of recipient, that is location, is in Rajasthan. In that case, the location of Rajasthan will be treated as of place of supply, and I am in Rajasthan, so CGST or SGST is to be charged. Although the services are actually performed in Dubai, but in that case, CGST or SGST has to be charged because in these type of event, that is cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, this is in a specific situation. If you are going to provide the services to registered person, place of that registered person. If you are not going to provide the services to registered person, in that case, where the services actually performed, where the event actually held, and if the event held outside India, in that case, location of that recipient will be treated as your place of supply. And if the cultural event, if the cultural event is in more than one or two states, in that case we need to distribute in the proportion of value of supply. Okay, so if the cultural event is held in 2 to 3 states, in that case the place of supply will be divided proportion of value of supply of the services. That is what is the pay. Okay, now section 12 subsection 8. The place of supply of services by way of transportation of goods, including mail or courier. That means in case of transportation of goods, if the person is registered person, in that case the location of such person. Suppose I want to post my books to my participants. Okay, in that case I want to post the books to my participants. In that case I am going to take the services of any courier agency, and if the courier agency is registered, in that case the place of supply will be the location of such person. Okay, a person other than a registered person shall be the location at which such goods are handed over for their transportation. Suppose I am not registered under GST and I am going to provide that books to that transporter. In that case, जहां पर मैंने वो books उस transporter के दी, the place will be treated as the place of supply. Where I am going to hand over that books to that person, that place will be treated as the place of supply. Okay. Now, if goods supplied out of India, in that case, place of supply will be out of India, even if location of recipient of service is in India. This is a specific thing. Suppose I want to post my books to Dubai. Okay, आज तो दुबई के एग्जांपल ले रहा हूँ. So I want to post my books to Dubai. In that case, I am going to that courier agency and I am in Rajasthan, but the location of the supply is outside India. Okay, that is Dubai. In that case, the place of supply will be your Dubai itself. In the case of transportation of goods, this is a specific situation. We need to take this, okay, as the most important, because हम लोग क्या सोचेंगे कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ही तो है. अगर मैं स्पेसिफिक पर्सन को सर्विस दे रहा हूं, इन दैट केस द प्लेस ऑफ दैट पर्सन विल बी ट्रीटेड एज द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई. नो, we need to decide the same with reference of this. But if recipient is in India, then in that case not qualify as export, hence IGST should be charged. वरना होगा क्या, हम लोग क्या करेंगे, अगर हमको लॉ का नॉलेज नहीं होगा तो मिस्टेक कहां पे होगी. सपोज आई एम इन राजस्थान and I am going to hand over that particular goods to courier agency which is also in Rajasthan, but my goods is going to Dubai. हम क्या बोलेंगे, I have handed over that particular books to that courier agency in Rajasthan itself, so CGST, SGST should be charged. But in that case, the specific point is that if the goods is going to outside India, in that case, that should be treated as your export, but export का qualification नहीं होगा, so that will be treated as your interstate supply and IGST should be charged. So as I am taking this lecture for the GST officers and authorities, so whenever you are come with this type of situations, in that case you need to check that correct GST has charged by those persons. Okay, correct GST has charged. कहीं उसने C और S GST को चार्ज नहीं कर दिया है. We need to check these things. We are going to check the reconciliations. For with the checking of reconciliations, we need to check these things also. Section 12 subsection 9. The place of supply of passenger transportation services. Goods transportation is okay for you. Now I am going to take the example for passenger transportation services. If the services is to a registered person, in that case, place location of such person will be treated as your place of supply. A person other than a registered person, if the services is to a person other than a registered person, shall be the place where the passenger embarks on the convenience of the continuous journey. जहां पर उसने वो जर्नी शुरू की, the starting point will be treated as your place of supply. Okay, suppose I want to go to Mumbai, and in that case I have started my journey from Jodhpur. In that case, the first point of continuous journey will be treated as your place of supply, and we need to charge GST accordingly. That is CGST or SGST if the transportation agency registered in Rajasthan. Is that okay? Now, Section 12, subsection 10. The place of supply of services on a board or conveyance, including a vessel, aircraft, train, motor vehicle, shall be the location of first scheduled point of departure of the conveyance for the journey. So, in case of the traveling, the first scheduled point of departure will be treated as your place of supply. So, the point of departure, the first scheduled point of departure will be treated as your place of supply. Okay. Now, Section 12, subsection 11. If you have any doubt in any case study, you may just need to comment in the chat box so that I can take that example. There is no issue with that. In case of services by way of fixed telecommunication line, leased circuits, internet leased circuit, or cable or dish antenna can be the location where the telecommunication line, leased circuit and cable connection is situated. जहां पर वो लीज्ड सर्किल या फिर लाइन सिचुएटेड है, जहां पर उसका फिजिकल एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, दैट प्लेस विल बी ट्रीटेड एज योर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इन केस द फिजिकल एस्टेब्लिशमेंट इज देयर. If the physical establishment is not there, in that case whatever will be the situation, we are going to read. जैसे कि in Rajasthan there is BSNL, in Mumbai there is MTNL. Okay, they are going to provide the services from the line cables. Okay, in that case, where is the telecommunication tower is situated, that place will be treated as your place of supply. We need to decide accordingly. Okay, BSNL and MTNL is also going to allot the audited, and department is also going for the audited. In that case, department is going to do the audit division wise. Okay, so at the time of audit, they need to analyze the situation. They need to analyze the situation division wise and decide accordingly. Now, In case of mobile connection for telecommunication, internet services provided on post-paid basis, be the location of billing address of the recipient. If the services are on the basis of post-paid basis, in that case, that mobile agency has their postal address, billing address. In that case, that billing address has to be treated as the place of supply. Suppose I have a connection of Airtel postpaid. Okay, in that case, the corporate office, the registered office of Airtel is in Mumbai, and I am in Rajasthan, and I am the billing address is in Rajasthan. In that case, Bharti Airtel is going to charge IGST. Okay, because the place of supply will be the billing address. In cases where the mobile connection for telecommunication, internet services, direct to home television services DTH are provided on prepayment basis through a voucher or any other means, in that case through a selling agent or a reseller or a distributor of subscriber identified module card or recharge voucher, be the address of the selling agent and the reseller. If the voucher is going to sold by that seller, in that case the location of that seller will be treated as the place of supply. By any person to the final subscriber with the location where such prepayment is received or such vouchers are sold. In other cases, if the address of recipient is in on record, in that case, that place will be treated as your place of supply. If the address is not in your record, तो जहां पर उसकी supply हुई है, that place will be treated as your place of supply. That means conclusively we can say in case of telecommunication tower, if there is any fixed establishment, in that case the location of that fixed establishment will be treated as place of supply. If the telecommunication services is on account of post paid basis, in that case the billing address of the recipient will be treated as a place of supply. In case of voucher based, if the address of the if the vouchers are selling through the seller, in that case the place of seller will be treated as your place of supply. In that case, any sale to the final subscriber, okay, there is no seller is available, in that case the place where the payment is received, that will be treated as your place of supply. And if you are not going to decide the place of supply from all those things, in that case the record, the address which is available in the records, in that case that place will be treated as place of supply. If the address is not available, in that case jahan par wo services provide kari, that will be treated as your place of supply. That is what is the complete concept of telecommunication. Is that okay? Telecommunication tower के केस में place of supply is okay for you? Section 12 subsection 12, the place of supply of banking other financial services including stock broker services to any person shall be the location of the recipient of service on the records of the supplier of service, provide that if the location of recipient of service is not available on the records, in that case place of supply will be location of the supplier of service in case of banking services. If the address is on record, in that case the place of the recipient will be treated as place of supply. If the address is not available on the records, in that case the location of supplier will be treated as supply, the place of supply. Okay, now so in case of banking industry, this is a very common and very normal provision. There is nothing so much hard. Okay, so we can decide easily in case of banking industry. The place of supply of insurance services, the place of supply of insurance services shall be to a registered person with the location of such person. If the insurance services is to a registered person, in that case the location of that person. If to any other person other than a registered person with the location of the recipient of services on the records of the supplier of services, जो उसका location है, that will be treated as your place of supply. Okay, so बेसिकली कंक्लूड अगर हम लोग करें तो इतनी सारी केस स्टडी हम लोगों ने डिस्कस करी. बेसिक प्रिंसिपल, इफ द रिसिपिएंट इज रजिस्टर्ड that place will be treated as a place of supply. If the recipient is not registered and if the supplier has the records of that recipient, in that case the record will be treated as a place of supply. If there is no address in record available or in the records of supplier, in that case the location of the supplier will be place of supply. In case of immovable property, जहां पर वो immovable property located है. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स के केस में क्या होगा, वी आर डिस्कस. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ पैसेंजर के केस में क्या होगा, हमने कवर कर लिया. बैंकिंग एंड इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के केस में क्या होगा, हमने कवर कर दिया. नाउ सेक्शन 12 सबसेक्शन 14, The place of supply of advertisement services to the central government, state government, a statutory body, local authority meet to for the state and union territory identified in the contract and agreement shall be taken as being in each of such states and union territory, and the value of such supply of specific to each state and union territory shall be in the proportion of the amount attributable to services provided by way of dispensation in the respective state and union territory as may be determined in the terms of contract agreement in this regard, in absence of such contract or agreement on such other basis as may be provided. If any advertisement services is going to provided to any central government, state government, union authority, local territory, in that case, the services is provided to state government or central government. In that case, we can say the services is provided to multiple locations. To multiple locations. In that case, we need to decide the place of supply according to a ratio. And ratio is to be specified in the agreement. So, section 12, subsection 14 is specifically applicable in case of advertisement services to central government, state government, union territory, local authority, and this is completely based on the agreement. All the terms and conditions which is mentioned in that agreement, the place of supply will be decided as per the agreement. Now there is specific sections, specific definitions are there. So conclusively, we can say in case of place of supply, we had covered interstate supply, intra-state supply, we had covered import, export. We are going to take in next 5 to 7 minutes. And we have covered certain services, that is 14 type of services and the place of supply accordingly. Okay, in case of immobile property, transportation of goods, transportation of passenger, in case of advertisement services to central government, state government, local authority, union territory, in case of financial or bank services, in case of your insurance services. So just comment me once that the concept of place of supply is okay for you, so that I can take the next topic. I am waiting for your reply. Just comment me once. The concept of place of supply is okay for you. Just comment me in the chat box. So can we take the next topic? In GST, I'm always saying there is 5 pillars in GST. One is supply, another is value, third is time, fourth is place, and fifth is input tax credit. And we had covered all these 5 pillars of GST in this live 5 days course on GST law. Okay. So now I am going to take certain miscellaneous topics which are also very much relevant. Okay. And one of the very much relevant topic for GST officers and the departmental authorities refund. So I am going to take that topic also regarding the refund. Then after we are going to discuss on returns under GST. If time permits, we are going to talk on job work also. Okay. So now I am not going to read the language of law. I am going to discuss the refund topic with you, and I am also going to take the reference of the law. There is no issue with that. In case of refund of GST, I can say maximum. Normally there is two type of refund. One is on account of export and another is on account of inverted duties. Agree? There is two type of refund is there. One is export and another is on account of inverted duty structure. Now, what do you mean by export? What do you mean by this export? If someone is going to supply any goods outside India, supply any services outside India for a consideration which is in foreign currency. Okay, if someone is going to make any supply outside India for a consideration which is in foreign currency, in that case, we can say that that particular supply of goods or supply of services is covered under the definition of export. First condition, goods should be cross the custom territory of India. Okay. And second condition, amount should be received in foreign currency. In that case, we can say that there is a export. Now, export can be of two types. With payment, without payment. In case of export with payment, in that case, IGST has to be paid on that particular supply and you are going to pay that IGST. In that case, IGST will be automatically credited to your bank account. That is, you are getting the refund automatically in your bank account. In case of export without payment of tax, that means in that case, the supplier is not going to make any type of taxes. Okay, he is going to make zero rated supply. In that case, question arises, when the taxpayer is not going to make any type of supply with GST. In that case, there is what is the requirement of refund? So in that case, that person is going to supply a product X, okay, and the GST rate is zero. But he has purchased that particular product from someone else and he has charged GST at the rate of 18%. Hence, there is a accumulated balance of input tax credit in the electronic credit ledger of Mr. X. So, in case of export, X can claim the refund of input tax credit which is accumulated in the electronic credit ledger of that person. Okay, so that is what is the concept in case of without payment of tax. That is what is the rule so that he can claim the input tax credit. Is that okay? So export the case mein without uh, payment of taxes, if there is any type of export, in that case, whatever will be the amount which is available in the electronic credit ledger of that person, that is the accumulated balance of credit is can be claimed by that particular person. Okay, now question arises, what do you mean by inverted duty structure? In case of inverted duty structure, the rate of tax on output is supposed 12% and the rate of tax on input tax credit is 18% and 28%. Suppose I am a manufacturing unit and I am going to produce a particular product X. Okay, in that case, I am going to charge GST on that particular X product is 12%. And for manufacturing of that X product, I need certain raw material. On certain raw material, the rate of GST is 18% and 28%. In that case, in this situation, there is an accumulation of input tax credit in my electronic credit ledger. So, to give enough flow of working capital to the parties, this provision is there that in case of inverted duty structure, the taxpayer can claim the refund of input tax credit which is available in the electronic credit ledger of that particular person. Okay, so basically these two type of refunds are there on account of export, on account of inverted duty structure. Another, if you have any excess balance in your electronic cash ledger, in that case the taxpayer can file the refund application and claim the electronic cash ledger. But in that case, the refund is automatically sanctioned or passed by the GSTN portal. The refund application is not going to any jurisdictional authority. But in case of inverted duty structure, in case of export, the file is going to the jurisdictional authority and jurisdictional authority is going to approve that particular refund. Okay, now in that case of export, first I am going to take the refund on account of export. If there is any accumulated balance of input tax credit, in that case, taxpayer can file the refund application to the departmental authority. Okay, so I am going to share the things by keep in mind that you are a departmental authority, and also I am going to share certain things as a professional. Okay, so this will be beneficial for both of them, for professional as well as for departmental authorities. Now, export in case of without payment. Export without payment. In that case, if someone is going to file a refund application, then you need to file the refund application online on GST and common portal, and with that refund application certain documents are required, so certain document has to be provided. So what is the list of document? I am going to share the list first, the documents required for filing a refund on account of the export without payment of taxes. So the first document which is required is your application. There is one undertaking is required, so undertaking is also required. If anyone require the format of that application and undertaking, then he or she may WhatsApp me so that I can share the application and undertaking format with them. Okay, there is no issue with that. Also, if the refund, also there is requirement of annexure B. Sir, what do you mean by this annexure B? We are going to cover. Also, one offline utility is there, that is called as statement 89. Statement 89 has to be filed in case of a refund. Okay. Another is your GSTR 2B or 2A comparison. Another comparison between GSTR 3B and 1, and one more document is required, that is one certificate. एंड इन दैट सर्टिफिकेट और डिक्लेरेशन, एक डिक्लेरेशन बाय द टैक्स पेयर यहाँ पर रिक्वायर्ड है, जिसमें टैक्स पेयर डिक्लेयर करेगा कि जो गुड्स मैं ऑनलाइन बेच रहा हूँ, जो गुड्स मैं आउटसाइड इंडिया एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ, आई एम गोइंग टू सेल दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट्स इफ इन इंडिया फॉर 100 रुपीज. In that case, I am not going to sell that particular product in outside India in excess of 150 rupees. Okay, so I am 1.5 गुने से ज्यादा 1.5 times se zyada I am not going to sell that particular product in outside India. Okay, so this certificate or declaration is required. Now, in statement 89, that person has to provide the details of the invoices, the shipping bill, the port code, the shipping date, and all this. Okay, and all the details which is feeded in this statement 89, that should be tally with the IC get portal. Okay, whenever you are going to pass any refund application, or whenever you are going to file a refund application, in that case, if the refund is on account of export, then you just need to check that the invoices are tally with the IC get portal invoices. Okay, we need to check the same. In case of annexure B, we are going to provide the reconciliation between the invoices which is available in the books of accounts for which we are going to take the refund, and the reconciliation between the invoices which is available in the GSTR and be returned. Okay, related to input tax, right? So we may say that annexure B, in that particular format we need to provide the HSN code wise invoices detail. Each and every invoice के आगे आपको HSN code जो है यहाँ पर फिट करना पड़ेगा, और with that HSN code we need to provide the invoices detail in that annexure B, and we need to identify that these invoices are available in the GSTR 2A and to be written or not. Okay. Now, what is the maximum? Also we need to attach the GSTR 2 and to be written downloaded from the GSTN portal. Okay, and if there is any difference between the GSTR 1 and 3B for the particular period for which you are going to file the refund, in that case we need to provide the reconciliation of comparison of GSTR 1 and 3B. Okay, we need to provide the reason that why there is difference in between the GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B refund. Now, what is the maximum amount for which one can file the refund? What is the maximum amount? So there is one formula which is available, and we can claim the refund accordingly. So the formula is zero rated supply of goods and services divided by adjusted total turnover That means turnover of zero rated supply of goods and services divided by adjusted total turnover multiplied by net ITC, and net ITC हमको वो वाली लेनी है which is available in the GSTR 2 and 3B return. Whenever you are going to check the application of GST refund, in that case you need to check the net ITC. Suppose the net ITC in that refund application is 5 lakh rupees, and whenever you are going to check the GSTR to be return for that particular period, in that case if the ITC is showing as 4 lakh 50,000 rupees, in that case you need to allow the ITC which is available in the GSTR to be written only. Okay, so ITC should be as per GSTR to be written. So the formula is there: zero rated supply, that means whatever particular product or goods you are going to doing as an export, in that case we need to take that particular supply, divide करना है हमको adjusted total turnover से, including the zero rated turnover, but we are not going to take the turnover of exempted supply in that case. Okay, so that is what is the formula for calculating the refund, and जो भी refund इस formula के according बन रहा है, that will be the maximum amount of refund which is allowed under export category. So refund in case of export, the documentation part, the formula part, and we need to apply the same on GSTN portal. We need to log into GSTN portal under refund head. We need to file a application for refund, and we got all those things. Okay. नए पीरियड का रिफंड हम तब तक नहीं लगा सकते हैं जब तक हमने पिछले पीरियड का रिफंड फाइल नहीं कर दिया हो. So that is what is the situation in case of refund on account of export. Now refund on account of inverted duty structure. In that case, the formula for calculating the refund amount. First, we are going to calculate the formula. Okay, the maximum amount available for refund. In that case, we need to take the formula as inverted duty structure turnover divided by adjusted total turnover multiplied by net ITC minus tax payable under inverted duty structure. Okay, that is what is the formula. Inverted duty structure turnover, that means the turnover you are going to make on a lower rate. Suppose the person is going the particular taxpayer has two type of turnover. One is 5% rate, another is 18% rate. So the turnover which is in 5% will be treated as your turnover under the inverted duty structure, and the turnover which is at the rate of 18%, that will be treated as your the normal turnover. Okay, so inverted duty structure turnover has to be shown here, and adjusted total turnover is your total turnover excluding your turnover on account of exempted supply. Net ITC, you are going to take the ITC which is available in the GSTR 2A and 2B return, and tax payable on अंडर इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर इज जो भी टर्नओवर आपने यहाँ पे शो किया है, दैट इज इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर वाला जो भी आपका टर्नओवर है, दैट टर्नओवर पे जो भी टैक्स पेबल बनता है, दैट यू नीड टू शो हियर, एंड फ्रॉम दिस फॉर्मूला व्हाटएवर विल बी द अमाउंट विल कम, यू कैन क्लेम द रिफंड फॉर दैट अमाउंट. ओके, इन केस of inverted duty structure, the refund on account of input service is not allowed, but in July 2023, I'm sorry, it is July 2022. Government has issued one notification, and through that notification, input service का refund भी ratio में claim किया जा सकता है. So how we are going to decide the ratio? For that purposes, here is one more formula is available. Okay, sir, you are not getting that formula. In that case, this is just my suggestion. You just need to repeat the video. Okay, you just need to repeat the video. I will provide you the recording for the same. You just need to repeat that video, and whenever you are going to repeat that video, you got the idea perfectly. Okay, although there is nothing in this formula, inverted duty structure turnover divided by adjusted total turnover multiplied by net ITC minus the tax payable under inverted duty structure. Now in this net ITC, you are just going to take the input tax credit on account of input goods. Okay, you are not going to take the input services. So, for providing the input tax credit on account of input services on partially basis, government has prescribed one formula. So, what is the formula? In that case, You need to take your tax payable under inverted duty structure. Okay. And you need to take your input here and input, this is A, this is B. Input on account of services, this is C. Total input, D. In that case, now you are going to decide the tax payable for formula purposes. So that tax payable, which is the normal taxpayer, which is you calculated from the inverted duty structure turnover, A multiplied by the input tax rate on account of input, that is B, divided by total input tax credit, that is D. When you are going to do this exercise, in that case, your inverted duty structure tax payable on account of inverted duty structure got reduced. So whenever you are going to use that reduced figure here, in that case your refund figure got exceeded, and when your refund figure got exceeded, in that case we can say that we had claimed the refund on account of input services also on partial basis. Is that okay? This formula and the formula for calculation of the revised taxpayer is okay for you? If you want to revise that formula, I am ready for that. Okay, I suppose everything is okay for you. So I am going to take the documentation part. Documents to file a refund application. In that case, the same document, the similar document is required. Statement 89, Annexure B, GSTR2A, application, undertaking. If the refund amount is more than 2 lakh rupees, in that case, CS certificate. These documents are required. In that case the statement 89, in case of export, in 89 statement 89, we are going to file the details regarding the export, okay, shipping bill and all that. In case of inverted duty structure, in the statement 89 we are going to provide the details of sales and purchase, okay, invoice number, invoice value, taxable value, CGST, SGST, same for input and same for output. Okay, and the same should be reconciled with your GSTR2A return, and the same should be reconciled, the sales should be reconciled with your GSTR1 return. If there is any difference, in that case you get an error message. Okay. In the annexure B, you are going to provide the details of your input tax credit and reconcile the same with your GSTR2A return. HSN code wise summary is also required in that case. Now, you need to provide the GSTR2A return also. You need to provide the application undertaking, and if the refund amount is in excess of 2 lakh rupees, in that case, CS certificate is required. Whenever you are going to check the refund application and refund related data, you need to check these things that the amount is perfect, the documentation are perfect. At the time of business audit, at the time of departmental audit, we also need to check if the entity has claimed the refund. In that case, we need to check that the refund is calculated on a perfect basis or not. Okay. If there is any delay in refund, in that case, the interest will be 6%. If someone has claimed the refund wrongly, in that case, if the person is going to reverse the same, in that case, he is to pay the interest at the rate of 18%. So at the time of payment, the rate of interest is 18%. At the time of receiving that interest, if there is any delay, in that case, the rate of interest will be 6%. So completely, that is what is the concept of your refund. मैक्सिमम टाइमलाइन टू क्लेम द रिफंड एप्लीकेशन फ्रॉम द ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ योर रिटर्न से आप लोग 2 इयर्स के अंदर यू कैन क्लेम द रिफंड. देयर इज नो इश्यू विद दैट. ओके. So you can claim the refund on account of zero rated supply. In case of inverted duty structure, we had already discussed. Okay. There are more type of refunds are available. That is, if you had made a payment of IGST instead of CGST or SGST, and if you had made a payment of CGST SGST instead of IGST, in that case you may take the refund of that amount. Okay. Now, refund of tax paid on supply which is not provided. Suppose someone has filed the GSTR 1 return and accordingly paid the taxes. ओके बट एक्चुअल में उसने वो सप्लाई की नहीं, बाद में वो सप्लाई कैंसिल हो गई. इन दैट केस आल्सो द टैक्स पेयर कैन फाइल द रिफंड एप्लीकेशन इन अदर हैंड. ओके, सो बेसिकली these type of refunds are there, but normally in the maximum cases the refunds are two type. One is on account of export and another is on account of your inverted duty structure. So all those things, all those process we had already covered. The documentation part we had already covered. All those things we had already covered related to refund. Sir, now just confirm me once that the part of refund is okay for you. The part of refund is okay for you. Are you enjoying the refund part? Are you enjoying the session? Just comment me in the chat box. I know today is Sunday. We'll cover the maximum content in very limited amount of time, but be assured whatever written in the law related to refund, I had covered each and everything. Okay, कुछ भी पेंडिंग नहीं है. जो भी चीजें मैंने बोली है, if you are going to read each and everything, you got that idea that refund is completed at all. So just confirm me once that we can take the next topic, and the refund related topic is okay for you. Job work under GST. What do you mean by that job work? First, we need to understand that what do you mean by that job work, so that we got the idea that how we are going to check the things in job work and what is the job work basically means. So, suppose I am a registered person, I am a businessman. Sir, I am expecting reply from each and everyone so that I got that idea that this session is useful for you. ऐसा नहीं हो संडे है तो आप सेशन को लाइव करके और टीवी देख रहे हो. Okay, so registered person, businessman. Suppose I have a business that is I am doing the business of steel industry. So in that case, if I am going to in case of steel industry, this is a फ्लैट आता है, पत्थर आता है लोहे का, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फ्लैट. अगर वो फ्लैट आता है, देन आफ्टर उस फ्लैट की पिटाई होती है, देन आफ्टर उसको एक फॉर्मेट के अंदर डाला जाता है, देन आफ्टर द पर्टिकुलर फ्लैट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू सर्टेन प्रोडक्ट्स, और देयर आर मेनी प्रोसेसेस आर देयर. In that case, suppose there is four processes to manufacture that flat into the utensil. Okay, if I am going to provide that particular one process to any other person, okay, there is one more person is available, Mr. Abhishek. And if Abhishek is doing the work of process, okay, of a particular process, in that case, if I am going to send a certain material to Mr. Abhishek, and Abhishek is going to do the work on that particular product and reverse back that particular product to me after the completion of the work, in that case, we can say that Mr. Abhishek is a job worker and Mr. Abhishek is doing the work of job worker. And I am as a principal, I am going to provide that particular goods to Mr. Abhishek, and Mr. Abhishek is going to do the necessary work on that particular flat and that particular equipment and provide me the furnished product or provide me the second or third processed product to me. That process is called as job work. Okay. In that case, if I am a registered person and I am going to send that particular product to Mr. X, in that case, the first thing If Mr. X is registered person, in that case there is no issue. But suppose if Mr. X is not a registered person, in that case I need to add the place of Mr. X as my additional place of business. As my additional place of business, I need to add that particular place as my additional place of business. Second, I am going to send the particular product for job work. In that case, this is mandatory that I need to file form ITC 04. And whenever the departmental authority is going for the GST audit or business audit, or whenever we are going for the business audit, in that case, we need to check that ITC 04 form also. That what amount of goods, what quantity of goods I had sent it to Mr. Abhishek. मिस्टर अभिषेक एंड कितना उसने गुड्स मुझे रिवर्स बैक किया, कितना गुड्स उसने डायरेक्टली किसी दूसरे जॉबर को बेच दिया, कितना कितना गुड्स उसने सप्लाई कर दिया. आई हैड सप्लाई दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट फ्रॉम द प्लेस ऑफ मिस्टर अभिषेक डायरेक्टली टू द सेलर. In that case, all these things are there in case of form ITC 01, ITC 04. So that is what is the concept of the job work. Okay. So in that case, the necessary thing is ITC 04 form, and if the place of business, if Mr. Abhishek is not registered, that is the job worker is not registered, in that case, the principal has to add that particular place of business of that unregistered person as the additional place of business, and the same should be reflected in the GST certificate, and all the records related to the job work has to be kept with the particular person. Okay, now one more thing, sir. Now I am going to take certain miscellaneous issues जो भी important things है under GST. I am just going to share these things with you so that it is more convenient, more helpful for you. Okay, now I have one head office in Mumbai and one branch office is in Rajasthan. I am going to take certain products from Mumbai to Rajasthan, and I am going to hand that particular products at the place of transport. Additional place to held that particular product, particular goods at the place of that transporter. So we need to check the same at the time of physical verification, at the time of physical checking of that transporter. We need to check that you have the particular quantity of goods. This is related to which entity. And we need to identify that the particular entity has added that place as an additional place of business or not. And we need to check in our client's case also. If our client is going to held that particular goods at the place of transporter, in that case we need to check that the transporter place is already added as a additional place of business or not. And if the address is not added, in that case we need to suggest to our client that sir, add this place as the additional place of business. That is what is the concept in case of transporter. So job worker concept is covered and the transporter concept is covered. Now returns under GST. Now one more facility is available on GSTN portal. We can transfer the amount which is available in the electronic cash ledger from one GSTN to another GSTN by filing form PMP 09. Okay, this facility is also available on GSTN portal. We just need to log into the GSTN portal, electronic cash ledger पे जब हम लोग जाएंगे and we are find that particular page. Okay, we can do the same. Now returns under GST. Basically, GSTR 1 is there, GSTR 3B is there, GSTR 9 is there, GSTR 9C is there. We are planning for a separate session, a complete guide on GSTR 9 and 9C in very near future. Okay, so whenever we are going to plan, we'll share the information with you. With that, CMP 08 is also there. GSTR 4 is also there. GSTR 6 is also there, GSTR 7 is also there, GSTR 8 is also there. Okay, so I'm just going to cover the basic return forms. In case of GSTR 1, we are going to provide the invoice based details of the sales. In case of GSTR 3B, we are going to file the details of the output tax, that is outward supply, and the details of the inward supply, that is sales and purchase. In our GSTR 9 and 9C, we are going to provide the cumulative details of the whole year, and we can say this is the key of GST. जो भी पाप हम लोगों ने जीएसटी में किए हैं, आई एम ऑलवेज सेइंग, जो भी पाप हम लोगों ने जीएसटी में किए हैं व्हाइल फाइलिंग द जीएसटीआर 3B रिटर्न और जीएसटीआर 1 रिटर्न, वी कैन rectify all those bad things in our GSTR 9 and 9C. That is, if we want to correct anything, then we can correct the same in our GSTR 9 and 9C return. That is what is the concept. CMP 08 is applicable in case of composition taxable person. They are going to pay the taxes at a concessional rate of tax. So in that case, they need to file this return on on quarterly basis. They need to just need to pay the taxes, okay, at a concessional rate. GSTR 4 is an annual return. In case of composition taxable person, they need to provide their inward supply detail in that particular return. GSTR 6 is applicable in case of input service distributor. If the input service distributor is going to distribute the input tax credit to various branches, in that case, that input service distributor has to file GSTR 6 return. GSTR 8 return is applicable in the case of non-resident taxable person. GSTR 7 is applicable in case of TDS and TCS deductor. Okay, so these are the concept of returns. Now, we need to file the returns. There is no issue with that. But as a professional, I am saying that we need to file correct return. And at the time of GST audit, at the time of departmental audit, we need to check the returns are correctly filed by that particular person or not. Okay, that is what is the question. All the details which is mentioned in the returns, we need to check each and everything. That the if the taxpayer has shown the input tax credit on which the GST is paid under reverse charge mechanism, in that case we need to check that the input has claimed for that particular type of supply or not. Okay, if the person is going to make the export, in that details has fitted in the correct form or not, in the correct table or not, in the correct column or not, we need to check the same. Our GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 is reconciled. Our GSTR 3B and GSTR 2B is reconciled. Now we need to claim the input which is available in the GSTR 2B return only. So we need to maintain the reconciliation on monthly basis. And whenever the departmental authorities come and whenever we are going for the GST audit and business audit, in that case, we need to check there is a reconciliation between GSTR 2B return and GSTR 3B return, GSTR 1 return and GSTR 3B return. And if there is any difference, in that case, we need to identify that the rectification has already been done till the timeline which is mentioned in section 16 subsection 4, that is 30th November, or the annual return filing date, whichever is earlier, we need to check the same. So these are the things we need to take in our mind. जिस रेट पे जितना इनपुट मुझे क्लेम करना है, द टैक्स पेयर इज गोइंग टू क्लेम इनपुट अकॉर्डिंगली. आउटपुट पे टैक्स बराबर लगा है. बुक्स का डेटा इज मैच्ड विद द जीएसटीआर 1 एंड जीएसटीआर 3B रिटर्न. द टर्नओवर इज लिमिटेड and the data which is pronounced or protected or produced in the GSTR 9 and 9C return, which is also okay. Okay, so these is the basic things which is very much careful. We need to be very much careful for GSTR 9 and 9C and GSTR 1, 2, 3B, whatever be the return. When we are going for the business audit or departmental audit, we need to first check that the nature of the industry, what types of returns are applicable on that particular industry, and then after we need to start our audit. That is what is the way. I know very well that you all have the sufficient idea how to start the audit, but there are certain parameters there. If we are going to follow these parameters, in that case, we can say that we can conclude the audit and we can commence the audit in a very specific way. ओके क्योंकि जिसका कमेंसमेंट अच्छा होगा उसका कंक्लूजन भी अच्छा होगा, जिसका आगाज अच्छा होगा उसका अंजाम तो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा. दैट इज व्हाट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. सो वी नीड टू फॉलो दिस कॉन्सेप्ट एट ऑल. Okay, so we had already covered the refund concept, we had covered the job work and transportation, we had covered the returns part under GST. If you want to cover any other topic, you may comment in the chat box. I may cover. Now I am going to take the topic of audit and assessment. In case of audit and assessment, whenever the client is going to file the GSTR 3B return, I am just going to speak. आप भी रिलैक्स हो जाओ. 15 से 20 मिनट का एक टाइम हम लोग ऑडिट एंड असेसमेंट को देते हैं, एंड वी आर गोइंग टू रिकैप द थिंग्स. ओके, वी आर गोइंग टू रिकैप द थिंग्स. वी आर गोइंग टू एनालाइज the audit and assessment concept. Okay, so audit assessment, if whenever the client is going to file the GSTR 3B return, in that case he is doing the self assessment. Okay, because he is going to decide the output as per his self basis. He is going to decide the input tax credit in the GSTR 3B return, in the CMP 08 return, at the timing of filing of GSTR 6 by the input service distributor. At that time, input service distributor is also going to decide the input tax credit which the input service distributor is going to distribute between various branches, is also on the basis of his self. So we can say all this time they are doing the self assessment. We can say this is the self assessment. मल्टीपल टाइम एक सिचुएशन होती है, मल्टीपल टाइम देयर इज अ सिचुएशन व्हेन द टैक्स पेयर इज नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड द value of supply, the rate of supply. In that case, the taxpayer can go for the provisional assessment. And when the taxpayer is going for that provisional assessment, in that case, the taxpayer has to file an application to the proper officer. That is Deputy Commissioner. In that case, the taxpayer has to file an application to the proper officer that, sir, I am not able to decide the value and rate of supply in that particular case. So kindly please decide the same. In that case, departmental authority is asking for certain documents, or on the basis of your document, department authority is going to do the provisional assessment. Okay, and suppose in that case, departmental authority is going for the provisional assessment. In that case, suppose they decided that the liability is 1 lakh rupees. और उन्होंने एक बार बोल दिया कि in that particular case you just need to pay 1 lakh rupees and you need to provide one bank guarantee also. You need to provide one security also, so that in future when we are going to do the final assessment, if the liability is in excess of the amount which is decided in case of provisional amount, in that case if you are not going to make the payment of that amount, we can realize the same from that security. So they are going to demand for that security. After the provisional assessment, within a given time, within a specific time, the departmental authority has to start the final assessment. And for starting that final assessment, they are going to provide a notice to that taxpayer that, sir, now we are going to do the final assessment. And for doing the final assessment, we need certain documents for you. In that case, you need to provide the documents, the required information. After filing the required information, the departmental authority is going to pass the final assessment order. And after passing the final assessment order, you need to give one request to the departmental authority that, sir, आपने final assessment कर लिया और जो भी मेरा पेबल या फिर रिसीवेबल बन रहा था उसका भी एडजस्टमेंट हो गया था, तो सर अब प्लीज एक काम करो ना, जो सिक्योरिटी मेरी आपके पास में पड़ी है वो सिक्योरिटी आप मुझे दे दो. Okay, or within 7 days from your request date, they are going to provide you their security. Okay, so that is what is the concept of that provisional assessment. Is that okay, sir? Now, scrutiny of return, section 61 of CGST Act, that is scrutiny of return. Section 59 of CGST Act is related to self-assessment. Section 60 of CGST Act is related to your provisional assessment. Section 61 of CGST Act relates to your scrutiny of return. Sir, Abhi, nowadays we are getting multiple notices from the department in form GST ASMT 10. Okay, in our view additional tab, we are going to receive that from GST ASMT 10 regarding the scrutiny of returns. And in this return, the maximum questions are related to your difference in between 1 and 3B, in between 2B and 3B, late fees, interest, and all this. These type of notices are issued by the departmental authority in form GST ASMT 10. So as a departmental authority, I also request to you, whenever you are going to issue these type of notices, just check that fact that these data is perfect or not. Okay. So if there is any correction is required, you just need to do at yourself at the department. Okay. Don't make the compliance the hurdle way. And if there is any genuine problem, you just need to issue the notices. So in case of scrutiny of returns, we need to provide our reply within 30 days. And if we are not going to make the reply within 30 days, in that case, departmental authority has the power. They can issue the proceeding under section 73 or 74. That will be more complicated for us. So whenever we are getting the GST ASMT 10, we need to try that we are going to provide the reply within 30 days. And when we are going to provide our reply within 30 days in form GST ASMT 11, if departmental authority is going to satisfied with that reply, in that case, they are going to issue the order in form GST ASMT 12 regarding the drop the proceedings. Okay, that is what is the concept of scrutiny of returns. And as a taxpayer, as a professional, whenever we are going to file the reply of GST ASMT 10, we need to cover certain content in our reply. We need to cover the specific section. If there is difference between GSTR 2 and 3B and all that, we can take the reference of section number 16. We need to put the extract of the section. We just need to put certain important case studies. Okay, all these things are required. All these things are required to for a specific decision. Okay, and when we are going to provide the information, when we are going to provide the screenshot related to the glitches, in that case, this is helpful for us. Okay, we can be strong our base. So that is what is the concept of scrutiny of returns. Suppose you had taken the registration, and after taking the registration, you are not going to file the returns, and you are not going to file the final return. In that case, departmental authority has the power. They can decide your case on the basis of the information which is available in the hand of the departmental authority, and they can do the best judgment assessment, and they can provide in the order that, sir, this is your order on the basis of the best judgment, and if you have any issue with that, you can reply with to us within 30 days. And if the taxpayer is going to make the reply within 30 days, the suitable reply within 30 days, in that case, they can drop the proceeding, they can reduce the demand, they can withdraw the order. Okay, so that is what is the concept in case of non-return filers. So whenever you are getting that particular type of notices, and if you have any ground, if you have any point, if you have any point regarding the language of law, if you have any point regarding the case study which is pronounced by High Court, Supreme Court, or any other departmental authority, in that case you need to file your reply. In that case, you need to file your reply within 30 days, so that there is a chances that department can withdraw the order under this. Okay. Now, if the taxpayer is liable to take the registration, the turnover is already crossed the limit, the specified limit, but due to certain reasons, the taxpayer has not taken that registration, that GST registration. In that case, if that person is not going to take the registration, in that case, department is going to do the assessment as an unregistered person. That's on the basis of information which is available us. Your turnover is this and this, the tax liability is this and this. If you want to say something in this regard, in that case, you have 30 days, you can provide us the reply. And if you are going to make the suitable reply, in that case, department can issue the order for withdrawal of that particular. And if you are not going to provide any reply, in that case, that order will be binding on you. So, self-assessment okay है, provisional assessment okay है, assessment of non-return filers, assessment of unregistered person, and scrutiny of returns. Now, there is two type of audit is available. One is departmental audit and another is special audit that is done by a special person, that is chartered accountant or post management accountant. In that case, departmental audit by the departmental authority. Departmental audit by the departmental authority. In that case, audit should be done by the departmental authority. Commissioner is going to issue the order. Okay. And in that case, before starting the audit, departmental authority is going to give you a notice not less than 15 days. They are going to provide a notice not less than 15 days. Okay. Minimum 15 days ka notice you are getting for the audit, and you need to provide all those required documents. They have the power to start the audit from their own office, or they can come to your office and they can do the audit. These both options are available with the departmental authority. They can do the audit accordingly. Okay, they are going to check each and everything. You need to provide the sufficient data, and they need to conclude the audit within 30 days, within 3 months from the commencement of the audit. In that case, what is the definition for commencement of the audit? The commencement of audit will be जिस दिन आपने सारे के सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स आप उनको प्रोवाइड किए और जिस दिन उन्होंने ऑडिट आपके प्रिंसिपल प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस पे स्टार्ट की, whichever is later will be treated as your commencement of the audit. So उनको उस केस में audit start करनी पड़ेगी, and after the conclusion of audit, before issuing the audit order, they need to provide an opportunity of being heard to the taxpayer. This is the right. Okay. Now, special audit by the chartered accountant or post management accountant. If assistant commissioner is in view that there is a nature of the transaction, complexity of the transactions, there is a situation we are not able to decide this case. In that case, we require certain expert opinion. So they may provide that audit as a special audit to a chartered accountant or post management accountant. In that case, that CA has to provide his report within 90 days. And on the basis of the decision, on the basis of the finding of the chartered accountant, they are going to do the audit, they are going to do the assessment. And before passing an order, department has to provide an opportunity of being heard. In case of special audit, all the remuneration is decided by the commissioner and paid by the commissioner. Okay, that is what is the concept of the audit by a chartered accountant or audit by a post management accountant. Let सर हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि if we are not going to provide the reply within 30 days regarding the A7010, regarding the non-return filers, regarding the unregistered person, in that case department is going to take the action under section 73 and 74. Sir, what do you mean by this section 73 and 74? What do you mean by this section 73, 74? Section 73 will be applicable where there is no fraud, no suppression of facts. जहां पर उसने intentionally कुछ भी नहीं किया है, where the section will be applicable, that is section 73. And in case of 73, if you are going to make the payment of the taxes with prior to the issuing the notice by the departmental authority, in that case there is no penalty. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of the notices, in that case there is no penalty. And if you are not going to make the payment within 30 days, you are going to make the payment after expiry of that 30 days. In that case, there is a penalty of 10% of tax or 10,000 rupees, whichever is lower. That is what is the penalty which is specified. In case of section 73, if there is any fraud, if there is any willful misstatement, if there is any suppression of factor, in that case section 74 of CGST will be applicable. And in that case, if you are going to make the payment prior to notice, in that case there is a penalty of 15% of tax. If you are going to make the payment within 30 days from the issue of the notice, in that case there is penalty of 25% of the tax. And if you are not going to make the payment within 30 days, you are going to make the payment after 30 days of the issue of the notice. In that case, there is a penalty of 50% of the tax in case of section 74. Okay, in case of section 73, they need to conclude the proceeding within 3 years from the due date of annual return. Suppose they want to issue the proceeding for financial, they want to conclude the proceeding for financial year 20 to 23. In that case, the due date to file annual return is 31st December 2023. From that date, 3 years, that is 31st December 2026, with the last date to conclude the proceeding under section 73. And in the case of section 74, that is fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact, there is a 5 years from the date of due date of annual return. This is the timeline. In that timeline, departmental authority can pass the order under section 74. That is what is the concept in case of willful misstatement, fraud, or in case of cases other than willful misstatement or fraud, section 73 and section 74. So, in last 20 minutes, we had covered the complete concept of audit and assessment, sections 59 to section 65, and we had covered the section number 73 and section number 74. Is that okay for you? So, in our today's session, we had covered the place of supply, we had covered the returns under GST, we had covered the concept of job work under GST, the transporter under GST, various returns under GST, and assessment or audit. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, if you have any point, if you have any query, you are free to raise the question, raise the query, raise the doubt in the chat box. Okay. And also, if you have any question, if you have any query in future, you are also free to raise the same in the WhatsApp group. There is no issue with that. You can connect with me anytime. Okay. You are free for that. There is no issue with that. So, if you have any question, then we are going to take that question. And if you have any doubt, then we are going to take that question and doubt. And if you have no any question, then we are going to conclude the session because Sunday भी है, and we are going to conclude this 5 days live course. इस 5 days के live course के अंदर we had started our journey with the constitutional background of GST, और आज हमने audit और assessment के साथ अपने इस 5 days GST live course की journey को complete किया है. So I suppose this session is useful for you. This session is helpful for you. This 5 days live course is helpful for you. Whatever will be your comment, whatever will be your feedback regarding this 5 days live course, you are free to post the same in the WhatsApp group on the chat box. I am really waiting for your reply in the WhatsApp group regarding the feedback of this live session. Now if you have any question, then you are free to raise the questions. I am waiting for your questions. Sir, any doubt, then please raise the doubt, raise the questions. So I suppose there is no doubt or no question is pending. So in future, if you have any question, if you have any doubt, you are free to post the same in the WhatsApp group. If you want to discuss on a very any specific topic, you are also free to post the same in the WhatsApp group or on my WhatsApp number. Probably I will record one short video on that and I will share with you very soon. Or if you require any session on any topic, then you are also free for that. You can connect with me over WhatsApp. We will manage. Okay. So थैंक यू फॉर योर पेशेंस लर्निंग. आप लोगों ने इतना पेशेंस रख के 5 डेज तक इस लाइव कोर्स को एंजॉय किया है, इस लाइव कोर्स को सुना है, एंड आई सपोज दिस विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू, यूजफुल फॉर यू. फॉर टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू साइन ऑफ द सेशन. One question is there, RTPE sales promotion is purchase. They are going to take the input of that sales promotion expenditure, hence they are going to use the same as purchases. Is that okay, Vinodji? And if they are going to claim the input tax credit, then input tax credit is not allowed on the sales promotion expenditure. If they are not going to make the payment of, they are not going to make any payment on account of output supply. So the taxpayer cannot claim the input tax credit on account of sales promotion expenditure. If they are going to put the same in purchase, this is also not correct from accounting policy. Okay, this is an expenditure. They may connect it in the direct expenses, but they cannot add the same in the purchases. And this is a point which is from accounting aspect. The another point is that they are also not eligible to claim the input tax credit on sales promotion expenditure on any type of free sample sales promotion branding expenditure. Input tax credit is not allowed. Is that okay, Vinodji? Okay, sir. So, in future, if you have any question, if you have any doubt, you can connect with me over WhatsApp. There is no issue with that. If you have any practical question, if you have any practical doubt, you may connect with me. Thank you for your patience learning. Thank you. मिलते हैं और किसी सेशन और किसी वेबिनार में. Okay, sir. Thank you. I am waiting for your feedbacks in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Stay connected.